BS Show, Season 5, Episode 7. Sean Gankars, Justin Chasmore, Adam Tynan, and boys, our worst week of the season last week. And can't be good every week. Those are bound to happen, but that's the one that did drop us below 500. Still lingering at 22 and 23, which personally, I might almost prefer that because this is where we're used to being at this point of the season. This is where we know we probably have a couple more weeks before we start to get going here. But hey, you guys still have a winning record at 8-7 each. I'm sitting at 6-9. Bye weeks coming into play in the NFL this week. Middle of October, officially full swing. I think we know everything we really want to know right now, although there is still a lot of season to play. Boys, how are we feeling?
Yeah, I mean, never good to have a below 500 week, but like you said, Gank, we're just trying to figure it all out. We'll start off 500 throughout the couple weeks, which I can live with. And Yank's got a big win, Phil's got a big win, so playoff baseball is upon us.
Yeah, I mean, huge shout out to the Fighting Phils, big one tonight. But go figure, Gank has a good week for us, and then me and AT shit the bed. So we'll put it all together. Tough week last week, but here we go. I mean, 2 or 4 teams on a bye this week, so a couple less games, tightens the slate a little bit, but just looking at the lines, off the bat, I think I like some off the bat, but we say it all the time. As we talk about these games, we really talk ourselves into liking stuff versus not liking stuff. So excited to get into this week.
Yeah, that's always the biggest thing. Like I said, I get ideas. I never write anything down that I'll possibly pick until we honestly all talk. But with that said, let's get into this Thursday night thriller here. Adam, you got to concede starting your Bears game to Gonzo here, of course. But the Bears, 1-point favorites at home against Washington. And the 37.5 over-under that I do believe is actually the lowest of the season. I have yet to see one below 38 or 38.5. So I think that takes a cake there so far. But Chaz, where's Gonzo going?
Yeah, first time in BS show history, Gonzo lost 2 games in a row. So, I mean, if you really believe in him, there's no possible way he can lose 3 games in a row. Or you just think he's not on it this year. I'm going to go with the side he's not going to lose 3 in a row. AT, you should be pumped. He's on your Bears, -1 at home. I'm going to let AT do a lot of the talking on his home team here in this really exciting game with over under 37.5 against a really good Commanders team. But I'm going to side with Gonzo. I'm going to take the over as well. Like we were talking about pre-show. Bad defenses. Both teams can run the ball. So I'm going to take the Bears to win. I'm going to take this game to go over this ugly total. Let's go Bears 24-21.
Yeah, I think the Bears are going to win. This is the type of game that they win at home against a shitty Washington Commanders team. And Riverboat Ron just called out Carson Wentz, saying the only reason they're losing is because the quarterback.
Yeah, that's something.
Like, I don't think you see that from him a lot unless he means it. And I think either way, it's just either the offensive line or quarterback, whatever. They don't look very good. And while the Bears have lost, obviously they're 2-3 through games this year. I mean, they've lost to Minnesota, Packers, and the Giants, who are all good teams this year, I guess. So, I'm not going to – if this was a in Minnesota game, I'd say they would lose like they did, but this is at home against a bad team. Defense will show up a little bit, and, the Bears will find a way to win this one. Fields has looked much better the past couple of weeks. I think he gets momentum against a bad defense, and the Bears have a little bit of offensive momentum. I'm going to take Chicago 24-20.
Yeah, I guess I'll never ride with Gonzo here for the first time all season, too. So let's see what he's doing here. I said it pre-show. I might just automatically ride with him. The very, 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 very small lean I did have on this game was the Bears because I do think they're going to find a way to take care of this at home and beat Washington here. But like you said, Chaz, too, I'm expecting a run-heavy game between both these teams. Bears have struggled stopping the run this year, but have also run the ball very well. And like you, my favorite bet in this game actually is the over 37.5. I think it's the first time ever I'm taking the over not the first time ever, but the first time this season I'm taking an over where the total's been set below 40 points. And a big reason for that is I expect both these teams to somewhat run the ball well and get in a lot of third and manageables during the game. So as long as these teams could convert some third downs there, keep drives alive, I expect some more points than what everybody's anticipated here. I'm not going to say you're going to see this huge high scoring game, but I think you see enough for it to get over 37 and a half. So boys, yep, I'm going to ride with you. Give me the Bears. Win this one here. I'll go 23-20.
Yeah, I think it is pretty troubling though for Washington, like AT said, where your head coach just calls out Carson Wentz midweek. I mean, especially on a short week, I think it's a bad recipe.
He's playing, right? I know he was limited and seen fine, but final report out today, they didn't really say anything about him not playing, right?
I imagine he's gonna play, but
yeah,
how good he plays, it's
I mean, yeah, Riverboat Ron was pretty straightforward about his answer. Just looked him reporter dead in the eye. Our quarterback.
That's all Riverboat. All right. Let's get into Sunday here. Some little more action-packed games. We got this over-under up to 43.5 as Tampa Bay heads to Pittsburgh. Tampa Bay 8.5 road point favorites here. And I know I did. I believe all of us. Chaz, I'm not exactly sure about you, but took Tampa Bay as a get-right game against Atlanta last week. And while they did get the win, they tried all they can to kind of blow it there. And had it not been for a bailout by the ref on one of two questionable roughing the passing calls that we saw this weekend, Atlanta might have had a chance to win that game outright. And with that said, Steelers just got embarrassed more than I've ever seen them get embarrassed since I've been alive watching Pittsburgh. They've always been a competitive team. They just got blown out to the Bills. I actually like the Steelers to cover this 8.5 at home here. I think Mike Tomlin's the type of guy to get his team back up, get them the fire back. I mean, he's been there forever, always finds a way to win games. I'm thinking these guys do want to play for him and show something for him. So I expect the Steelers to put up a fight at home here. It's not enough to beat this Bucks team, but 8.5 is a big number going into Pittsburgh. So give me the Bucks. Win this game. I'll actually have it going under the total because Bucks offense once again kind of fell off when I expected more, especially after a 31-point showing against Kansas City. I'll go Bucks to win, Steelers to cover 21-17.
Yeah, Gank, I mean, I'm with you. I heard this morning that I think this may be one of the first times Mike Tomlin's really been on the hot seat in his tenure with the Steelers. I know one year they were struggling. They ended up going 8-8. But I don't think it's really him. I just don't think their roster is very good. And their best player, TJ Watt, is injured. They have troubles at quarterback, and they're just not there. I do think they're going to cover just because they're at home. And 8.5 is a ton of points. I see this as a touchdown game. But I think offensively, they really are going to look bad. I agree with you, Gank. I actually love the under in this game because the Bucks defense is absolutely legit. Their offense just can't figure it out. And I don't know if this is the get right game offensively for them, but I thought it was last week against a bad Falcons defense and it wasn't. So I'm going to take the Steelers to cover here. I do think the Bucks win by a touchdown and it's not too close. I like the under, but Tampa wins, Brady wins, but they don't look pretty. I'm going to go 20-13 Tampa.
Well, we're going to keep the train rolling from last week with me against you two because I'm 100% on the Bucks this week. Took the Bills last week minus the 14, and I never usually do it. I mean, a 38-3 win by the Bills was good to see. And, I mean, I'm just fading the Steelers here. Their defense has given up 91 points over the last 3 weeks. And now you got Tampa Bay coming into town. I don't care if they're home or away on a neutral field. Their defense cannot stop anyone right now. They're getting the Bucks, who, yes, they did not cover last week against the Falcons, when pretty much everyone in the world thought they would. But I'm going to trust Tom Brady to go on the road here and put up enough points here. I mean, even if they put up 27 points, I don't think the Steelers could put up 17 or 20 points. They would have to obviously put up 20 to keep this, to cover the spread. I mean, Kenny Pickett threw the ball, 52 times last week in a game where it was a blowout and couldn't throw a touchdown. Now he's facing a better –
in his career.
Now he's going against a better defense. I know he's at home, but like I said, I don't care. Last time they were at home, they blew a lead, fourth quarter lead to the New York Jets. Give me Tom Brady all day here. I'll go Bucks 28-10.
Yeah, that is one thing I actually didn't mention you brought up, Chess, too, is I, even without TJ Watt, been trying to say the Steelers defense is still fine. And really, clearly, they are not. I kind of want to mention that. My bigger question, and something that will get figured out, like I think the Steelers might get figured out, even though it'll be too little too late by the time TJ Watt gets back, is this Bucks offense. I mean, they do have a chance. It's another chance for a get right game like it was last week, but I think it's a tougher environment in Pittsburgh. So big spread. I probably won't touch it as a gambler, but yeah, my leans with Pitt still. All right. Let's go to where I fuck up every single time. The Colts 1.5-point favorites.
Ah,
Home against the Jags here. Over under 42.5. And I can't learn. Chaz, I believe this is right before Adam actually got on. I was saying to you how the Colts are 2-0 against the AFC West and 0-2-1 against their own division this year. And it's just something I can't figure out from this fucking team. Fourth divisional game of the season already coming here. Fifth one next week against Tennessee. Colts still as ugly as that Thursday night game was that we watched last week. Colts finding a way to go on the road and get that win, I think, is a big momentum swing. And I'm going to take that to carry on into this game here. Matt Ryan, ugly game against his team in week 2, but has seen them once. Hopefully he can keep the momentum going here, figure it out. The Jags, who are obviously improved from what we saw last year, are kind of people starting to realize that might have been a little fluke-type blowout they had against the Chargers, fell back to earth ever since that game, and just handed the Texans their first win of the season last week as well. So the Jags are better. I still don't think they're this great team that everybody thought they might be just after 3 weeks of the season. And they take the Colts at home here, and it's pretty much must win. You need to win one of these division games. And if you do, you have a chance all of a sudden to be on top of the division once you go to Tennessee next week with a win here this week. So give me the Colts to get the job done at home here. I know the history with the Jaguars is bad. I know Chaz, you or somebody's probably going to bring it up, but I'm going to keep fucking folding it until the Colts finally do it. I'll take the Colts 24-17.
yeah, I mean, I think Chaz was the one who said that they haven't won in Jacksonville in like 9 years or something like that. I don't know about their record at home against the Jags, but I've said it. I hate betting the AFC South. So this is a toss-up game for me. I'm going to go with the Jags because I've been high on them after a couple wins, and they lost me money last week, unfortunately, and they did not look good. But the Colts have not done enough for me. They got really lucky to get that win, I think, last Thursday. Yeah, they got a long week to prepare, but until they show me that they actually are a good football team, I'm not going to believe that. And I just feel like the Jags have a little bit more confidence and way less to lose in this game. So they're going to play loose. They're going to go out and get a dub in Indy. There's not doing it for me right now. Indy their offensive line isn't good, which is something we haven't seen in years. So I'm going to take the Jags too, and I think it'll be a fun game. I do kind of like the over here a little bit, but I'm going to go 24-21 Jacksonville.
Yeah. I was the one that threw the stat out that they didn't win in Jacksonville for a long time. I'm pretty positive, though, the Colts have beaten the Jags 5 or 6 straight times in Indy. So, I mean, it's just kind of a home field thing here, but I'm with you, gang.
Wrong. I actually think it's like 4 out of the last 5 because I'm pretty sure the Colts lost to them twice last year, and had they beat them once, they actually would have made the playoffs, and that was the thing. But I do think the Colts have won 4 out of the last 5 in Indy.
Yeah, I mean, so obviously it's a different thing in Indy, but I mean, this is a must-win game, like you said, and I mean, these types of spots, I'm going to take the home team. And I mean, as bad as they looked last week, and I mean, they really shouldn't have won that game. If Denver just runs the football and kicks a field goal, somehow they did, and it gave them life. And I think the emergence of Alec Pierce alongside Michael Pittman is big for that offense. Obviously, if they get JT back, it'll be huge too. But I mean, this isn't a complete fade of the Jags. I still think they're a pretty good team, but a home game here after getting embarrassed in Jacksonville week 1. I'll take the Colts to win here just because they need it, and keep the South race alive. So I'll go Colts to win. I don't think it's very pretty, but I'll go 2017 Colts.
Let's go Colts. Let's get it right. I mean, I've been saying all year too, it's a team that always starts slow and figures it out. And well, last time when I said that, I went from 1-5 to 10-6. So it's this time of year where they need to figure it out and fucking do it at home here. Get it right, Indianapolis. What's crazy too about Matt Ryan is as bad as he's been, he's like sixth or seventh in the NFL in passing yards right now too. And yet this offense just can't put up the points.
I hope they get back on track.
Yeah.
Bro, they can't if they can't run the ball, they're in trouble.
Yeah. They need Jonathan Taylor back too. You need Jonathan Taylor back as well, huh?
I really need Jonathan Taylor back. Yes.
All right. Chaz, I'm gonna let you take this one first. You probably watched this team closer than most of us last week. Bengals head to the road to New Orleans. New Orleans 1.5-point home dogs here, over under 43.5. I feel like, as I said, as we got into this show, we're starting to figure things out about all these teams. We kind of got a good idea. Me personally, I'm not too sure about either of these two teams yet right now. Chaz, what are your thoughts with their AFC North rivals? Big win for the Ravens Sunday night against them last week too.
Yeah, I mean, that was a massive one. Obviously, just, can't watch a Ravens game without having a heart attack. It just doesn't happen. But luckily we, have the best kicker ever. So, when he comes out there for a 44-yard field goal, it's going in regardless. So, big win. Tough for the Bengals. I'm pretty sure all three of their losses have been walk-off field goals. So tough 2-3 start. And I think in this game, I'm going to take the Saints to win, more so because I want the Saints to win. I usually am against the Saints, and they did just give up over 30 points to the Seattle Seahawks at home. But I cannot imagine that defense is going to play that bad again, especially at home. I don't know. Geno Smith is just making the whole NFL look silly right now. And it is unbelievable. Yep, it is unbelievable what that guy's doing. And I mean, some of the throws he made last week were just absurd. I mean, the Saints were in good position, and he just dropped it in. So on the Bengals side, though, I mean, they ran the ball a little bit better against the Ravens last week, but I mean, it still comes down to the offensive line. Joe Burrow does not have enough time to throw the ball, and I mean, a good front with the Saints, I think, is going to cause them trouble. So, like I said, this might be a heart pick because I want the Saints to win. But give me the Saints to, I guess, pull the upset here at home, simply because their defense plays well and Burrow's under duress all game. So let's go Saints 24-21.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this. You kind of – I was the one that laughed that Pete Carroll was talking up Geno Smith in the preseason. But you kind of love to see a guy that's been around for a while come out and just ball out. Good for him. And I think last week was maybe a case of Seattle's offense is a little bit better than the Saints or than people think, because I think the Saints have a good defense at home, and it did not happen last week. This is a toss-up for me. I don't like picking against Joe Burrow off a loss. I feel like he kind of bounces back, but I don't think they're a very well-coached team. Yes, they had a great run last year, but they don't have a great offensive line, and they still try to air it out like you got to run the ball. And they try to, but it just doesn't seem like it's working. And I think in New Orleans, that is an issue for them on Sunday. Bengals have had a lot of close games, so I see this being a close field goal game as well. I kind of think Will Lutz kicks a field goal to win it. This time expires to another loss possibly for the Bengals. But I'm going to go with the Saints at home, not with a lot of confidence because Joey B may bounce back from a tough loss in Baltimore. But Chaz, I agree with you. That front seven of the Saints, I think, gets after him, and that kind of hurts him. I think that's the way to beat Joe Burrow and the Bengals this year. So I'm going to go Saints win. I think it's going to be a little ugly, low-scoring game. I'm going to go 20-17 New Orleans.
Yeah, I'm going to I'll be the one to fade you guys here. I'm going to take the Bengals to win. And I know we're talking about the Saints defense, but when you look at it, I've been one believer Saints defense thinking they're good, but just look at the start of the season, and it's simple as this. They're just not good. They're not what we thought they were. And 32 points at home to Seattle. Obviously, Geno's been playing well. Love that as a West Virginia guy because I witnessed in person him making those throws, and then it just disappeared for 10 years. So to see it have it back is a beautiful thing. But with that said, I mean, 32 points at home to Seattle. Vikings scored 28 in London. The Panthers had, I believe, their season high against them in 22. Falcons scored 26 against them in the opener. Like, some questionable teams coming into the season that have been scoring points against them. And, the Bengals are one team that we know can throw the football and have good offense and good offensive pieces. And I think they're going to find a way to get the job done there. I'm starting to sell out hard on the Saints defense. Kind of similar to what I said about Pittsburgh before. I don't love it or buy into it nearly as much as, kind of what you guys were saying there. I just don't believe in it at this point. I need them to show me something for me to buy back in at this point. And against a Bengal team with all those weapons, I don't think there's a spot for them to do it. So I like the Bengals to go on the road. Like I said, Saints allowed at least 20 points in every game, and most of them even more than that. I'll take the Bengals, go on the road, get the job done here. I'll go 27-17. I think the Bengals take care of it with ease. Sorry, Chaz, too. With their arrival.
Like I said, that's more of just a hope. Obviously, I'm not going to be touching that one, but
No, yeah.
hopefully Taysom Hill runs for 4 touchdowns again.
What's that?
So hopefully Taysom Hill goes for 4 tutties again.
That's insane. Oh, I couldn't believe that.
for 41 fantasy points.
41. That's almost half my team right there. All right. Let's get to the Jets heading to Lambeau Field. Packers 7-point favorites at home. Over under 45.5. And well, boys, my Giants were lucky they didn't have to go to Lambeau last week. Because if I think they did, there's no shot they're coming back from 17-3. But hell of a job by them to get it done there. And with that said, now the Jets got to see the Packers off that loss and a blown lead, and they do have to go to Lambeau here. As good as the Jets kind of have looked, I mean, their offense is finding a way to score points and get it all done. It's kind of some turnovers and a whole lot of other things by their defense that set that up that I don't think the Jets are going to get this week. I'll say right now, I actually love the Packers to cover the -7 here. We talked about the Bengals when they played the Jets earlier in the season as kind of a get-right game in MetLife, and the Bengals went on to win that game 27-12. And another thing with the Jets, they are 3-0 against Skylar Thompson, Jacoby Brissett, and a mix of Mitch Trubisky and Kenny Pickett. They are 0-2 against Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson. I mean, where does Aaron Rodgers fall in that category, obviously? So I like the Packers to get the job done at home here. This is a team that does need to get right here. I said about the Bengals when they played the Jets. I'm going to say about the Packers here. I'm going to call it another get-right game. Bucks blew it for me. Bengals gave it for me. Hopefully I get the winning side calling these games, but Pack, their offense, Aaron Rodgers, everything gets going. Hopefully our defense can figure some things out. The issue with their defense has been stopping the run, and Breece Hall and Michael Carter is not a duo you want to see when that's an issue, but I just think Aaron Rodgers would be too much here. I'll take the Packs, and I love the over 31-20.
Yeah, I do kind of like the over. This is tough because this is another push. I mean, it just feels like a touchdown game. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna take the push because I didn't last week and I thought it was gonna be. I'm taking it. What'd you say, Gank?
Big boo right there.
Yeah. Well, okay. I didn't last week and I fucking knew it was gonna be a push, and I'm sure fucking shit it was. I think this is 27-20 Packers. It's as simple as that. The Jets are going to keep this close. Rodgers is going to score near 30 at home. And defensively, I mean, the Jets, say what you want about beating bad quarterbacks, but when you beat anybody in the NFL 40-17, you won. You got to give some credit where credit is due. And the Jets have looked way more competitive. Robert Salah is keeping those receipts. And so far, since he said it, they're doing well. So good point about the good quarterbacks, Gank, but the Packers haven't shown me enough to see that they blow them out this week. It's going to be 27-20 Green Bay.
AT confident with that final score right there. I'm with Gank here. I think the Packers cover, and I've been a big Jet backer this year. Picked them to win last week, and I feel like I've picked them to cover more weeks than not, definitely. But I think this is just a spot that the Packers win big. I mean, the Jets, like Gank said, haven't really beat a good quarterback yet, and I think this is a really tough test for them in Lambeau. For their offense, I don't think their offense is is going to be able to score that many points to keep up with the Packers. I mean, the Packers had obviously a big lead last week, let it slip to the Giants in London. Shout out G-Men. But I just think the Packers here get it going, and I really don't think this is a game from the start. So I think the Packers win. Jets struggle to score offensively, so I'll go Packers 27-14.
I will say this. Something I noticed about the Jets today with me. I was on them a lot last year, and they burned me. I've been against them a lot this year. It's kind of burned me, but I'm kind of turning into my Falcons that Chaz has had in the past, where they always seem to burn me. But like I said, I'm gonna ride my favorite thing about this game and just look at the quarterbacks who they haven't beat and the ones they have, and a lot of those ones they have, turnovers been a big part. Not to mention they really should have lost to Brissett, a miracle at the end. So I need to ride with Rodgers here. All right, New England and Cleveland. Cleveland minus. I'm saying that right? Cleveland minus 2.5, over under 43.5. Again, I got two teams here who I don't really know much about. New England's offense is something I still don't want to trust, and it's actually almost looked better with Zappy. I'll say it right now, the old Zap attack there. But sounds like Mac Jones finally back this week from what I'm hearing. We'll see once game time comes. And, well, Cleveland is a team who I believe that they could run the ball and play good defense, so they'll have a shot to win games. And they've been doing one of those things pretty well, and that's running the football. Their defense kind of been a question mark at this point of the season, too. They've allowed a few more points than I expected them to. So this game, I'm going to tell you right now, it scares the shit out of me as a gambler. I don't know who to pick to win. I don't even know who to pick to cover. I am torn right now as I'm talking about it, so I don't know what to give you. I'll just give you my gut, and that's that Cleveland is going to be able to run the ball a little bit better than New England here. New England's defense is another defense I thought would be a little bit better than what I've seen, and I hope Cleveland's rushing attack keeps getting the job done here, and I'll take them to get the job done at home, but this feels like a stay-away game. I'll go Cleveland 23-20.
Yeah, I think the Pats are going to cover, but the Browns win. The Browns have had a 1-point game, two 2-point games, and a 3-point game. And this just feels like one of those things where if somebody gambled on it, they'd get screwed because the Pats end up covering 2.5. I mean, yeah, it's a toss-up gag. I'm not going to put any money on this one or lock this game. Pats are a tough team to figure out because they just shut down the Lions, who offensively have been killing it. And I mean, it was at home, and Bill Belichick kind of just figured it out. I guess he kind of has Goff's number back to the Super Bowl year against the Rams when they struggled. But I'm going to take the Browns to win. I just feel like I've seen them play better this year, and Jacoby Brissett settles in a little bit. They're at home, run the ball. Yeah, Browns find a way to win this game. Close one. Not that fun to watch. I like the under a little bit, but I'm going to go 21-20 Cleveland.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Browns here to win and cover too. And I was huge on the Pats last week, and obviously they proved me right with the 29 Rock win over the Lions. But I think obviously this game is in Cleveland. Cleveland's lost 2 in a row. I mean, let's not forget Cleveland almost knocked off the Chargers last week. It was at home. I mean, they looked pretty good. They couldn't get it done, but I think this week, against a team that's definitely not as high powered on the offensive side of the ball, and the Patriots, I think the Browns are going to be able to run the football, and their defense is, obviously going to have an easier time with the Patriots than they did with than the Chargers. So give me the Browns here at home to win. I'll take it barely to cover, but let's go Browns 23-20.
Let's go dog pound, huh? Good job done. All right. Minnesota and Miami, Vikes 3.5-point road favorites here, over under 45.5. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I read right that Tua is officially rolled out today, right? They already said that about him, and likely Skylar Thompson is what I believe I read, even though Teddy might have a chance to dress as a backup here. But a whole lot of things with their quarterbacks going on right now. So want to make sure I have this straight. The fact like Skylar Thompson's going to be a starter because it does sound like it's going to be him. And with that said, I mean, that's just Tua plays this game the way Dolphins started their season, the way the Vikings started the season. Like, it turns into a massive game that I almost feel like Kirk struggles in. But because we're getting Skylar Thompson here, I think Kirk is going to be more than fine and get a job done against the Dolphins defense that another one of those defenses that I think we all believed had a shot at looking good that has just not looked like what we expected coming into this season. So I think Kirk gets the job done here. I think the Vikings win. I'm going to take the Dolphins to cover here because I've been taking the Vikings to cover and they keep fucking either pushing or losing on a hook. Like, they just go up big and then kind of let the other teams come back into it. I feel like that's been a 2-3 week thing running here. So I'll take the Dolphins to cover on the hook here, but Minnesota wins. I'll go 24-21.
Yeah, the hook scares me. I got a pretty similar idea of the game for you as you, Gank. Yeah, I mean, Kirk Cousins, by all means, is playing pretty well. You guys are both high on the Vikings to win the division. I think you both picked them to win it, right?
I still had Green Bay winning division.
Okay. I had Green Bay winning in the Vikings. Yeah, same. And I mean, they're making us sound pretty smart. I mean, the Vikings are got a pretty good offense that's tough to stop. I mean, when you have all those weapons and guys on the same page, Kirk with a good offensive-minded coach now, you kind of see what's happening. Like I said pre-show, their only loss is in Philly, who is the only undefeated team. So say what you want about the Vikings, but they come into play, and I see this as like Gank said, against a bad quarterback, not a great defense. This is a game Kirk Cousins usually wins. Not a very hostile environment at 1:00. So I think they're going to win. I think they win by a touchdown. I think offensively they keep gelling like they have been because Justin Jefferson's just essentially uncoverable. So I'll go 27-20 Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm actually right there with you guys. I didn't think I'd be picking the Dolphins to cover here with Skylar Thompson, but I think this is going to be a much closer game than people think. I think the public is going to be all over the Vikings, and I mean that hook is a big point. Gank, you're right. I think the Vikings last few weeks, whether it was in London or last week against the Bears, they just kind of let teams hang around and with the backdoor cover. And I kind of think that this is the same way. Honestly, wouldn't even be shocked if the Dolphins somehow find themselves leading this game into the fourth and Kirk, pulls it out at the end. But I'm going to take the Vikings to win. Obviously, we're all high on them this year. They should go into Miami and win this game. But 3.5 is just a little bit too many. So I'll go Vikings to win. Close one, though. I'm going to go 21-20.
No, I think the Vikings are favorite if Tua was playing.
No.
I don't think so either. All right. Well, here we go, Chaz. Giants, 5.5-point underdogs at home to your Ravens here. Over/under is 44.5. And, well, honestly, about a month ago, I thought I was just say something real quick and kind of let you take it, Chaz. But this game means a lot more than what we thought it would a month ago. And kind of going to do the same thing we did when it was Giants-Bears. Adam, I'm going to let you take this one first, and then we'll have me and Chaz going.
Oh, shit. Okay. I like the Giants with the points. I think the Giants at home, they believe in whatever Daboll's saying, they're believing in it. Whatever culture he's trying to build, they believe in it. And the Ravens have found a way to win close games and lose some big leads. But like I kind of said last week, I don't know if the Ravens are a team this year that's going to blow many people out. I just don't know if they have the defense to keep them down or offensively if they click. And I honestly could have lost last week had the Bengals not made some questionable coaching decisions and play calls in the red zone. They definitely might have. They haven't shown enough for me to say that they're going to cover the 5. They're going to win by over 5.5. I do think the Ravens will win this game because I think Lamar is going to take over, and I think it's similar to a field goal game more than a touchdown game. So with that, I'm going to take the G-men to cover. I think the Ravens are going to win this one. The Giants finally are due for a bit of a loss and a letdown. I'm going to go 24-21 Ravens.
Chaz, do you want it? I got it.
I feel like you're excited for this one. So go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's not much I'm excited about. Honestly, with this, because I'm honestly still pretty torn here. Kind of had the Giants Josh, we talked about this at brunch. I was figuring the Giants around a 3.5 point underdog. I think we both agreed that this line was a little bit higher than we expected. See it drop to 5, already back up to 5.5. So it is hanging right where it seems to be. I'm guessing it's to stay right there. Vegas ain't moving it, and I'm still kind of torn on this pick. I actually almost want to take the Ravens to cover, even though the Giants could take it close in like a 27-20 type game. But at the same time, too, I feel like the best way to possibly beat the Giants is to throw the ball. Ravens kind of run first team, although Mark Andrews had some big games. When the Giants want to focus on stopping the run, they can stop the run. When the Giants think you're going to throw the ball, you get ran all over and everything. So their defense has been good for the Giants. Has been a couple question marks. I love the way Wink's calling. Wink does obviously know this team very well. I'm not gonna lie, I'm still torn to this day. I may write my article tomorrow and change who I pick, but while I do think the Giants keep it close, I think Saquon may have a little issue running the ball. The way to, I feel like, beat the Ravens is to throw the football, and as great as Saquon's been, maybe this could be one of his very few down games of the year, hopefully. So I'll stick with my gut here when I say the Giants do stay in it, but the Ravens find a way to cover because similar to the Jets-Packers game, my gut's telling me 27-20 Ravens in this one.
Yeah, this like Gank said, me and him talked about it last week and what we thought the spread would be, and we were both pretty set on 3.5, with it being in New York. I think the Ravens win this game. I mean, I think the -240 money line tells you that, but I think 5.5, even as a Ravens fan, I think is a lot of points. I'm going to take the Giants to cover. Obviously, I hope I'm wrong here, but it depends what Ravens team we get on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. If they play defense like they did last week, they're going to be in really good shape. But if Lamar misses all the throws that he missed last Sunday night, then they're going to be in tough shape too. If they play offense like they did, the first few weeks, then obviously I think the Giants are going to be in for a long day. The team's just too inconsistent for me to say that they're going to beat anyone, especially a 4-1 Giant team. It's looked pretty good on the road by 7 points. So I think the Giants cover. I think Lamar, finds a way to win it at the end because he's the best player on the field, and if it comes down to a Justin Tucker field goal, that's what it comes down to. But Gank, we also talked about it. Best 2 kickers in the NFL, going at it. Let's go, Ray.
Automatic.
Graham Gano, number 2 kicker in the NFL. Yeah, I don't know about that one.
You haven't watched enough Graham Gano.
Yeah, I don't think you did.
Statistically, his field goal percentage over the past 2.5 years is actually higher than Tucker's too, and he's got multiple from 50+ out.
I got him on a fantasy team. He's unbelievable.
Okay.
But yeah, let's go Ravens to win. Giants cover though. I'll go 24-21 Ravens.
Yeah, I want to say the Giants cover too. I don't know. My gut tells me, like I said, I think it's a very competitive game. My gut tells me that, like, Vegas wants us to bet the Giants, and when it's all said and done, like, late Ravens touchdown to actually win by 7 gets the job done. But should be fun to watch. I'm glad for mine and Chaz's sake this one's fun to watch because, like I said, coming into the season, obviously we're going to talk about this game and, expectation about a month ago is the Ravens are probably going to be about 10, 11-point favorites. So the fact that we got legit reason to watch going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. All right. Let's move on. 49ers, Falcons. Falcons 5.5-point home dogs here. Over under 44.5. And Falcons seem very similar to Seattle in a way where this team just fucking finds a way to fight and keep themselves in games, can find a way to win it late. Like I said, damn near had a shot to beat Tampa Bay this past week. We all saw that. We all saw what happened there. Bullshit roughing the passer. Seen another one the other night. They are questionable. Did see a tweet though that what's his fate? I forget who tweeted it, but somebody said there's like 45% less roughing the passer calls this year than last year. Actually, it just so happens that those two, as bad as they were, stuck out the most. But with that said, the Niners are a team that I think is starting to come around with Jimmy Garoppolo. By the way, I forgot to mention this for the Giant game. There's 5 quarterbacks that have a 7-3 record or better in their last 10 regular season starts. Daniel Jones is one of them. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah.
How
Okay.
wild
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Jimmy
it's not
Garoppolo's
that wild. He's 4-1 in his last 5, so that means he was 2-3 in the other ones,
he's
or 4-2, 3-2.
2-2.
Yeah.
Great,
I'm
Thank
not
great ending.
surprised.
But he's on the list with Garoppolo, Pat Mahomes, Tom Brady, and like Aaron Rodgers or something like that in regular season. That's saying Jimmy's name. And anyways, back to Jimmy though, and the Niners here. This team seems to be figuring it out. I love the Niners. I actually think I think they may be the next best team behind Philly in the NFC right now. Philly obviously doing everything right, but the Niners run the ball and play defense. It's kind of what the Giants do. That's the reason why they're 4-1. But the Niners do it with the Niners are just better when they do it. They've kind of got more experience as a team. I think they got a better defense. While the Giants do lead the league in rushing, the Niners just get efficiency every time they run the ball, and what they're doing is working. It's going to work with Jimmy Garoppolo. It's a big spread on the road here, but I think the Falcons offense is really going to struggle against this Niners defense. So I can't take the Falcons to cover here. I'll take the Niners, go on the road, win. I like the under 44.5 here, so I don't know how much the Falcons could score. I'll go Niners 23-13.
I'm torn here because I really do love the Niners defense. But every game Atlanta plays is like a touchdown or less. I mean, they're just never like it seems like every time they play this year, it's within 2, 3, 4 points. I see a backdoor cover to cover this one. I think the Niners dominate this game. I do think their defense shows up. I saw a stat, they're number 1 in almost every category. And I think their defense shows up again because it's the real deal. And in Atlanta, they fight, they keep games close. I do think that the Niners, don't have trouble winning this game. I think they're up by 2 possessions for most of it, but I could see like a late fourth quarter touchdown, something like that to keep it close, and to get the Falcons the cover that they will get. So I agree. I kind of like the under, but I'm gonna go 21-17 San Francisco.
Yeah, I'm with you guys on the Niners. And AT, I mean, you said the Falcons games are close and they're undefeated this year against the spread. So for bettors, everyone has loved the Atlanta Falcons. And I'm sure that stat will be out there all week. And everyone will continue to hammer the Falcons plus the 5.5 points here at home. But I mean, we took Tampa to get back on track last week, obviously with their offense, but because their defense was at home going against this Falcons offense, they kind of let them get back in the game towards the end. I don't see the Niners doing that. They're going to run the ball more than Tampa did last week. And I just don't see their defense, collapsing toward the end of the game. The Falcons, good start to the year against the spread for bettors, but this week, I don't think it's going to work out. So let's go Niners to win, cover. Gank, I'm with you. I think they're the next best team in the NFC behind the Birds right now. Let's go Niners 24-13.
Let's go Niners. All right. Where the fuck am I? My bad. All right. Sticking out west here. LA Rams, who have been arguably one of the bigger disappointments this season to start here. 10.5 point favorites at home against Carolina, over under 40.5. And boys, let me be straight up honest. I'm going to be pretty quick here with this one. Rams aren't 10.5 point favorites in anyone. That offensive line is bad. They can't run the ball. The offense is one dimensional. Throw it to Cooper Kupp, kind of see what happens. It's very easy to limit. Like I said, they're just not 10.5 point favorites in anyone. They are better than the Panthers. Maybe they can run the ball this week because I've seen the Panthers get sliced on the ground by San Francisco. I've seen the Giants slice them up on the ground. So maybe this is a game where the Rams can get the run game going, but that offensive line is still very questionable. So it's hard for that to trust. Rams aren't going to lose this one at home, but like I said, they're not 10.5 point favorites better than anyone. I'll take the Rams to win. Panthers cover. I'll go 20-13 and what I think could actually be the most boring game of the day.
Yep, Gank, I'm 100% with you, man. I mean, you guys know I love the Rams and have been high on them for the past few years, but they don't look good at all. And the Panthers aren't a great football team, but they are a little bit physical defensively. And everybody's counting out Baker. Maybe he'll bounce back. You know, when a coach gets fired, sometimes that kind of unites teams. Honestly, saw it with the Phils. Shout out Philly. And I just kind of feel like this is one of those games where everyone's counting him out. Baker Mayfield hears that. He shows up a little bit. And the Rams, their offensive line is just not good enough to win. What'd you say?
I heard Baker went from out 2 to 5 weeks day to day. Like, what actually?
Yeah, I don't know if he's actually gonna play, but he's not projected anything in fantasy, if that means anything. But either way, I just don't see the Rams covering with the hook 10.5. And I'm gonna take the Panthers to cover this one. It's just what I see happening. So, but I do think we're getting a low scoring game, not too fun to watch. Cooper Kupp will somehow find a way to get 25 fantasy points. But I'm gonna go 23-17 Rams.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. And first when I looked at this, I thought Rams, but honestly, I think it's better for the Panthers this week if PJ Walker suits up and plays because I mean Baker has probably been one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL to start this season. You can fire your head coach. I mean, the next week they play, it usually tends to, give the team a little bit something to play for under a new voice. And like you guys said, the Rams aren't good. Everyone is going to take the Rams here because the Panthers, one, just fired their coach. They're not a good football team. Baker might not play, blah, blah, blah. My favorite bet in this game, though, and it's a stat that's been going for years, when there's a line this big, instead of picking a side, you just take the under because usually what happens is the team that wins, they usually either go up big and the other team can't score, or it's just a really low scoring game because the team that's supposed to win big just doesn't score too many points. So I'm going to take the Panthers to cover here, but I really like the under 40.5, another crazy number, but let's go. I think the Rams win, Panthers cover, PJ Walker, Temple legend, gets in there and keeps it close. Let's go Rams 20-13.
There it is. Temple legend. We love those here.
Yeah, we do.
Temple legend.
All right. Staying out in that NFC West for some of these teams here. Adam, your Cardinals, 2.5-point road favorites against Seattle. Over under 51.5. Can your boy Cliff get the job done on the road against a Seattle team that, like I said, outside my Giants, may be the most surprising start in the NFL?
Yeah, no, he can't. I think Seattle's gonna win. I guess I hate the Cardinals, so that's what it is. I do like the over in this game either way. I don't know if I've picked the Cardinals in a while besides last week, just because we all knew that was going to be a little bit of a letdown in Philly, and they were a field goal from tying or whatever. I'm just buying into momentum in the NFL, and I think that Geno's playing well enough to win a home game against a bad defense. And I have said it I feel like a year and a half now, something is off with the Cardinals. Yes, they win some games because they're super talented, but no D-Hop still. And they just I think they struggle in a hostile environment in Seattle. They get all delay a game. They got delay a game out of a timeout somehow. I think that might happen again. I'm going to take the Seahawks to win this game outright. I do like the over though. I'm going to go 30-24 Seattle.
Yeah, I feel like Seattle overs are kind of one of those things that are turning into must plays here. With that said, Adam, with you, I like the over. My final score has it at a 0.5-point over, but I got Arizona to cover here. And, we were all in Arizona to actually find a way to win against Philly last week. Adam, you said it perfect. The opportunity was there. They just forgot the rules of football or something. I don't know what the fuck they were doing at the end there, but they did have every chance to – ball in their hands, chance to win. That's all you could ask for, especially playing a team like that, and they just didn't execute. But I expect them to bounce back here. Seattle is a score. Arizona's defense, I'm with you, Adam. They just haven't been good, but either are Seattle. So give me the Cardinals to win, and I'm going to be riding Seattle overs, I think, until it fails me. I'll go 28-24.
Yeah, I'm with Gank here. I mean, and with you guys with the over. I mean, Cardinal overs usually tend to work out, and I mean, with the way Geno's playing, you just got to ride with it. So I'm going to definitely say the favorite bet here is the over. But I like the Cardinals here. Seahawks have played great. Cardinals, but the Cardinals almost just beat Philly, who was arguably the best team in the NFL, definitely in the NFC, I think right now. And I mean, you can't overlook that just because they missed the field goal. And they're going into Seattle. Seattle did, just have a big week in at the Saints, but I mean, that defense just isn't as good as Philly's. I think that's really what it comes down to. So give me Kyler Murray to make one more play than Geno. I am starting Geno in a fantasy league this week, so I hope it is a shootout. So let's go Cards win, going over 30-27 Cards.
Love that.
A fun football game.
Round. Also, somebody, I don't know what the fuck just happened, but right in front of my face, Broncos Chargers. That's a Monday night game. We got a couple before we get there. That line just went from 5.5 to 4.5 like that. No half-point gap in between, just like that.
Wow.
Yeah, so I don't know if I'm missing something there, but throwing that out there. All right, game of the day Sunday here, obviously, no questions about it. We've seen it in the playoffs last year when these two went at it. Bills heading to Arrowhead to play the Chiefs. And Bills, 2.5-point road favorites here. Over under 53.5. And like I said, we watched these two teams in the playoffs, gave us one of the best, if not the best football game I'm sure all of us have possibly ever seen. I mean, Adam, sorry, but Chad's seen some Super Bowl, so it's hard for us to put that game over it. But as a fan, that was one of the best games you could ever watch. And here they are battling it back out right now. Chiefs home dogs here, and watching the Chiefs this past Monday night, actually, once again, that was the other game that involved a brutal roughing the passer call, but I'm not so sure the Chiefs were the better team there too. The Raiders jumped out big before the Chiefs actually got things rolling, and Hunter Renfrow and Devontae Adams collision is what stopped the third touchdown bomb for Devontae Adams that game too, and giving the Raiders a late lead. The Raiders had every bit chance to win that game. So what I've seen so far is the Bills are simply the better team than the Chiefs. Chiefs offense obviously is rolling, looking more than fine without Tyreek Hill. I'll keep saying that every week, but the team itself, they don't seem as good to me as I see in the past, and that's crazy for me to say because they are sitting at 4-1, but I still don't fully buy. I said it last week, really thought the Raiders were going to find a way at the end to win that game there. First off, foot just out of bounds on a bobble, a collision with Hunter Renfrow to knock him down for another touchdown, or else the Raiders probably do win that game. So I see more from this Chiefs defense. I ain't fully buying. There's no way they stop the Bills offense. I actually think Buffalo goes in there and beats the shit out of them pretty good. Give me the Bills 38-24.
Wow. Yeah, this is a tough one for me because on one hand, you have the Chiefs end up beating the Bills always, but on the other hand, the Bills have a revenge game. And the game doesn't matter as much because it's just regular season. I like the Bills to win this one. I feel like they just got more to prove and more to play for. The Chiefs, I think you're selling them a little short, Gank. I think the Raiders is a divisional game and a must-win. They came out and did everything they could. I agree with you. Their defense isn't that good, but their defense always figures it out towards the end of the year. I do think the Bills win this game. I mean, I'm going to take the over because, it's these two teams. I think it'll be really fun to watch. ESPN really fucked up taking Broncos Chargers over Bills Chiefs. But I guess the Chiefs could be a primetime game every week. So what are you going to do? I will take the Bills to win this one. I think it's close. I think it's going to be a really fun game to watch, as it always is. High scoring. But I am going to go 31-28 Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm with you guys too. Over and the Bills. I think the Chiefs just simply aren't as good as they were last year. And that game last year, as a Bills fan, and as a player on the Bills, especially Josh Allen, that must have been a really long flight home for them. A game that they pretty much won. Was it 11 seconds left? They were that close to making the Super Bowl, and the revenge spot, it's here. So I'm going to take the Bills. To go in, I'm actually with Gank. I think they beat them, pretty comfortably. I think the Chiefs just simply aren't what they were. Obviously, they still have Travis Kelce, but I'm pretty sure the Bills are probably going to do everything they simply can to not let him have 4 touchdowns like he did last week. So let's go Bills to win and the over. I'm going to go 33-28. Bills.
Talking about a stat line, what was it? 7 catches, 25 yards, 4 touchdowns.
Yeah. I mean, at some point, the Raiders just said, let him score. I mean, how do you not cover the guy? He was uncovered for 3 of the touchdowns.
They only let him get 25 yards.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
As what's his name? Josh McDaniels said, like at the half, he was saying now, like, if we could limit Henry, and well, technically in yards they limited him, but at what point? Yeah.
Jesus, man.
All right. Let's get to Sunday night. Massive one here in the NFC Beast as the Eagles 6-point favorites at the Link, over under 42.5 against Dallas. And well, first things first, I think I already said this, but I got to reiterate, I was absolutely wrong about the Cowboys. When I watched that offense week 1, and when I watched Dak go down and they said he was going to be out for a while, I thought there was no chance his team was going to score points. But I did like the way their defense played. It's just I didn't think it matters. I thought their offenses would be that bad. And, well, Cooper Rush has done more than a good enough job. Their defense only seems to be getting better as the season's going on here. And, a big game, a chance for Dallas to actually take a lead in the division here. Dallas, beat the Giants, gave the Giants their long loss, chance to do it to Philly here too and keep their record undefeated in the division. But I don't think they could go to the Link and win here. I do almost want to pick them to win outright. I am 1,000% going to take them to cover the 6 points here. But it's a big spread. Philly's defense is also very good. I think they could give Cooper Rush the biggest problems he's had this season. Assuming it's still Cooper. Dak ain't ready yet, right? I know he's close.
Yeah, it's
still Cooper, right? Yeah, I think Philly's defense will go, and Philly too. I expect this game to actually be really fun. A lot more exciting than I thought it would be when Dak went down, and looking at this game week 2, week 3 on paper. And I'm sorry, as an NFC East guy, I grew up watching this division being the best in football and spent the past 5-6 years for it being the worst. So for it to be as good as it is again, I feel like it's exciting, kind of good for football, fun for me. Give me Philly to still find a way to win this at home. Dallas definitely covers the 6. I'll go Birds 21-17 and a little defensive but fun battle to watch.
Yeah, this line's almost so big it worries me because I really don't see the Cowboys. I mean, maybe the Eagles win by a touchdown, but when you have good defenses, you're in every single game. I've learned that from the Bears when they did have good defenses. They lose close ones, but you're in it. And I'm shocked that they gave him this many points. I do agree again, Cooper Rush will look a little bit human. He will lose his first game starting because what's going to happen is the Eagles are probably going to put 8 in the box and they're going to be able to stop the run. Because if you could stop the run with the Cowboys offense, they usually lose the game. So I think the front 7 of the Eagles is just too much for them here. I think it's going to be low scoring, similar to the Cardinals-Eagles game where it was a field goal, low scoring game. I see it similar here. Eagles D shows up. They win them this game. Hurts struggles a little bit, but finds a way to win late. I'm going to go 20-17, Philly.
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. I think this is a race to 20 points. Whatever offense can get there first. Wouldn't be completely shocked if the Cowboys go on the road and win because, I mean, they always say defense travels. And, I mean, AT's seen it, like you said, with the Bears. And, I mean, Dallas's defense is going to play well. And Eagles' defense is really good, too. So, you give the slight edge to the Eagles' offense here, especially at home. Link is going to be, rocking for this one. I think they've been looking forward to this game for 2 weeks. That's why we all picked them last week to kind of be in a letdown spot. So, I mean, they're going to be ready for it, but Dallas' defense is going to keep minute. But at the end of the day, I'll take the Birds to make one more play. Until you got the same score as you, I'm going to go Birds 2017.
Yeah, I'm actually excited for that. I mean, I do wish we got the Bills Chiefs Sunday night. Adam, I know what you're saying. Like ESPN, why didn't do that? I will say this. I do believe CBS and Fox kind of have priority on their handful of games they want to pick to make sure they can lock in the 425 game. And, well, I guess they're making sure for that one. And all fairness in that. But,
Well, I was more so hating ESPN for getting Monday night. Sunday night, I love this matchup. It's always fun to watch. But
yeah.
ESPN, I assume, had the last choice in this week's rankings. I'm going to assume.
Yeah, well, I actually don't hate this game Monday night.
Yeah,
but,
with the bye weeks, I agree with you.
But with that said, Denver heading to LA to play the Chargers. Chargers 4.5-point favorites at home. Over under 45.5. I will say this. Denver playing prime time, obviously getting old. I believe this is the fourth time in 6 weeks this season. Correct me if I'm wrong there. I mean, Seattle
right.
last week.
The Niners.
Sunday night game against the Niners. And now this. Yes, that's 4 times in 6 weeks. Everybody's overwatching the Broncos in prime time, but I think we actually get a good one from them here. And to be fair, that Seattle-Denver game, just due to the week one, the appeal with it, Russ leaving Seattle, the upset from Seattle and everything was entertaining. And actually, I think this one has a chance to be entertaining here. I don't know how many times I could keep saying Russ and this offense is going to figure it out. I'm starting not to buy it here, but with that said, Denver is still in every game. It's just boring to watch. Your defense steps up, it's back and forth, it's a bunch of punts, and you get your 11-10 games or 12-9 games. But Chargers offense is going to put up points here, and, well, the only way Denver will stay in is if they answer themselves and get some banged up Chargers defense. I think Denver is ready to answer and put up some points here as well on the road too. And going to LA ain't really a road game. It's going to sound like a Broncos home game. More than likely, they will travel there. Charger fans don't exist for their home games, so I expect Denver to keep up here. I do think the Chargers clearly are the better team and find a way. I'll take them to win. I'll take Denver to cover on the hook at 4.5. I'll go Chargers 24-20.
Yeah, guys, I got the same exact score as you. The Chargers just kind of find a way to play close games, and I feel like Denver does as well. And the Chargers are a weird team. I don't really get them. They're very inconsistent week to week. I mean, they'll blow out a team one week and then get blown out the next and this and that. So that being said, with the 4.5, I'll take Denver. I just think it's a low risk bet because Denver's defense is good enough to keep them in just about every game. Maybe with a long week to prepare, a couple extra days, Denver makes some much needed offensive adjustments. And maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think Russ is going to continue to play terrible for the whole year. Eventually, he'll figure it out offensively. But if they lose this game and don't look good, it's a big panic mode in Denver. So I got the same score as you. I think the Chargers find a way to win. Russ gets a little bit going, but I'll go 24-20 LA.
Yeah, I'm not excited about this, but I'm with you guys too. I think every single person watching this game on Monday night is going to take the Chargers because they've all watched the Broncos in prime time and have seen how bad they have been. I mean, honestly, Genk, I think you said it. I think the best thing for the Broncos is for them to get down so that way Russ has to throw the ball and they can't stay in their offense that they're running currently, where they run it twice up the middle, get 2 yards, and then it's 3rd and 8, and Russ throws the completion. Like they need Russ to throw the ball early on early downs so that, they get the 2nd and 1s and the early downs where they can run the ball and go and take deep shots. I think this is it because the Chargers are going to get up. And I think Russ is not going to have a choice but to, put up points. But like AT said too, the Chargers play close games. It's going to be a Denver home game in LA. One of these weeks, the Broncos are going to blow up and, cost a lot of people money who are on the other side. I don't know if this is it, but I think they keep it close this week. Let's go Chargers. I have the Chargers to win the division, so I'm definitely going to take them to win it, but I think it's going to be a little sweaty. Let's go Chargers 27-24.
Isn't it amazing the difference in offensive like coaches. Like you can just see the Chiefs running, the Bills running. They are just out scheming some of the, and then you watch the Broncos or like the Bears aren't scheming terrible, but you just or old Giants teams like it's just insane.
Yeah.
Like the Chiefs, watching the Chiefs play offense is fucking awesome.
Yeah. Just get a job done.
Yeah.
All right. Adam. I do not know what we disagreed on. I think Jags, Colts, Bengals, Saints.
Jags, Colts. I don't really want to bet that. We did disagree on Cardinals, Seahawks, right? Or did you?
We did. I'll gladly take Arizona -2.5 too.
What's the other game?
We got. You can get the Jags +1.5 in Indy. I had the Bengals -1.5 in New Orleans. Don't you?
Nah,
Be wrong about that.
I did have the Saints. No, yeah, let's do Cardinals, Seahawks.
All right. Think my boy-
Gino's gonna win me some money.
Betting against my boy Gino. You betting against your boy Cliff.
Nah, that's it. Don't you dare call him my boy.
All right. And with that said, Adam, you kick off our locks as well.
Oh, all right. All right. Okay, we're gonna start Thursday night. I don't really do this ever, but I'm gonna lock the Bears -1. I have seen them play this type of game before, and to me, it's a game they win. The Redskins, or the Commanders, sorry, just look like a dysfunctional team, and I don't see it happening. Short week at home, good defense shows up. Also, next game, we are going to go to the Panthers-Rams. I am locking against the Rams, which I don't know when I did that very much recently, but I like the Panthers +10.5. It's just too many points. Rams haven't been good enough to blow anybody out like that. Maybe it's the week they do. If so, it's unfortunate, but I don't think it will be. And then finally, I think we all liked this one. I am going to go Cardinals, Seattle 51.5 over.
I knew that one was going to you once you were picking first.
Yeah, that's a fun one. I had that one too, but
Yeah.
So Gank, you had no shot.
Yeah,
Gank, I might take one or two years here, but sucks picking third. First, I'm leading it off Green Bay -7. I just simply don't think the Jets stay in that one. Second, I was the lone soldier on it, but when I talked myself into it, like I talked myself into the Pats last week, so I got a good feeling I'm going to go Bucks -8.5 in Pittsburgh. I'm actually going to take 3 favorites here, which I usually never do. But my third one, the redemption game for the Buffalo Bills in Kansas City, Bills -2.5.
Wow.
well, you took one of mine for sure with Buffalo. I think I'm going to do something that's never been done in show history, but you're picking last.
This should be good.
Got to do it. But this
Oh,
starts
God.
Francisco -5.5. Against Atlanta, like I said, I mean, the way San Fran's playing, their defense is so good. Atlanta's offense is going to struggle. San Fran's going to run the ball down their throats. I just don't see even at home how Atlanta can take it close. And here's where it may be a show history, because I know we picked same games from different people. I'm sticking with the same game here. I'm going under 44.5 in that game as well. I don't see Atlanta scoring too many points here. San Fran, as I mentioned, I expect them to run the ball, burn some clock. They did put up 37 last week. I'm not expecting them to do that again, especially on the road. Like I said, I mean, I had this game at 23-13. That gives me a little bit room, but hoping I hit this one right on the head. Those are two that I love that I was kind of trying to decide which one from that game I was going to pick. But second, Chaz, you took second, you got Buffalo and everything. It kind of had no choice. And last but not least, maybe I'll never learn, but this is a team I love this year.
Not the Colts.
I am taking the Colts.
It's the
No,
Colts.
Jesus
Home against the
Christ. Fucking Gank.
You guys want?
You'll never learn.
Never learn.
Hey, I had Buffalo and the Arizona Seattle over that one, but stuck with what I got here. So,
I hope you're right, because that probably means Jonathan Taylor has a big day. I hope you're right.
Colts can win that 13-10. Nobody has a big day, and I still cover.
You'd like that. You'd like that, wouldn't you, Gank? You would.
So we got Matt Ryan and Michael Pittman. I would hate that.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's
Yeah.
fair. That's fair. Yeah.
He wants a shootout.
Yeah. All right, boys. Let's get back to the winning ways, huh? We're in where we need to be, though. Right in the
Big bounce
spot
back week.
every year.
Big bounce back week for the boys.
A few weeks away from the bounce back.